Hey everybody, welcome to the Cripescast, sponsored by Jolly Good Soda. My guest, I've got an Olympian on the podcast today. It's Brittney Arndt from the US National Luge team. And if you're not familiar with luge, it's what you've been watching on the Olympics all week. It's that sport with the sled on the skates, and it's terrifying. I gotta be honest with you. It's also a ton of fun, but mostly just terrifying. And yeah, I do know that from firsthand experience. If you saw our video this week, if you didn't, I got to do the luge, and I was not so good. Painfully bad, actually. I don't recommend having old fashions the night before you do the luge. Okay, just as that's a pro tip for you right there. I think I actually mentioned the whole luge thing before on the Cripescast, but for those of you who don't know, a few months back I went to Park City, Utah, spent a day with the US Olympic Luge team. Because Duluth Trading Company, they're a sponsor of USA Luge. They're also a sponsor of a bunch of our videos, and they're a sponsor of this podcast. So we released the luge video this week, and if you want to check it out, you can check it out on the page. If you're like, no, I'll skip it, just give me the long story short of it. I'm really bad at the skating sled. Okay, here's what happened, basically. I crashed into the side of the wall at 40 miles an hour. And it was very painful, but at least I didn't crash at 50 miles an hour, which it would have been had I not crashed into the wall at 40. So, always look for the silver lining. And actually, I think there's good life advice in that. It's if you know you're going to crash into the wall of life, do it at 40 miles an hour, not 50. Get it out of the way before a bummed elbow turns into a broken elbow. So there you go. I'm just full of all sorts of philosophical nuggets here on the Cripescast. And you can tell by that popping that I'm still using my my portable mic. I really should find a windscreen for it. That would have been a good task for me. Jeez Louise. That would have been a good task for me to do this week. But I didn't. I've been on the road. We did a couple shows, Tampa and Naples. We did a bunch of shows. Thanks to everyone who came out to those shows. That was a lot of fun. And if you're still looking to see us on the road, what do we have coming up? We have Salt Lake City coming up, and then Denver, and then Boston, and then Portsmouth. So would love to see all of you out there. If you want those tickets, you can go to cripescast.com. Charlie, how did we get into a plug? Weren't we talking about Brittney? Yes, Brittney. Anyway, Brittney was right there in Park City watching me luge. She was very unimpressed. I was going down that course like a wounded walleye, going up a river. And it's a very curvy river and very steep. And I had no chance of making it to the big hole. It's a tragedy. That's a great analogy, though. I'm really proud of myself for coming up with that. Anyway, it was great talking to Brittney. She's not only an Olympic luger, she's also a climate activist and involved with POW Athlete Alliance. POW stands for Protect Our Winters. So we touched on climate change and also her time living in the Midwest. She's originally from Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. So anyway, we'll get to that interview in a second. But before we do, I just want to thank all of you for following the Cripescast, leaving a comment. I'll read you a comment real quick. This was a nice one about the AJ Dillon podcast. It's from OMS James 124. What do they says here? They says, Charlie, love this interview. You made this interview feel like we are all sitting at my house playing euchre, having a great time. It's nice to know AJ is a down-to-earth kid, doing his best. I love that he is all in, living in Wisconsin. He seems like a guy you want to be around just because he's a nice guy, not because he's a Green Bay Packer. Thanks for doing all these podcasts. Tell your folks I says hi and watch out for deer. I will jump on that train and just say, yes, AJ Dillon is one of the nicest guys. He and his in-laws, or soon-to-be in-laws, and his fiance came to one of the shows in Naples, and we had a great time. They came and hung out in the green room after, and just the most down-to-earth people you've ever met. And I got an invite to the place over there in Door County, so I don't think it was just a Midwest polite invite either. I think I'm actually invited, so I'll let you know how that goes. I'm definitely going to be bringing my fishing poles. I hope they got room in their jet skis for those. So we'll see how that goes. I'll keep you all posted on that. But thanks so much for the comment. And let's see here. What else do we got? No, I think that's it. All right, it is time now for my interview with USA Luge team member Brittney Arndt.
Are you excited to slide tomorrow?
Yeah, I am. Excited. Nervous. Are we rolling, actually? Yeah. All right, well, that'll be the start then. We're good. Yeah.
Cool.
So, should I be excited to slide tomorrow?
I think so. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Do you remember your first time?
Oh, yeah. I started from the same place you're going to go.
Okay, well, you mean like lower than where the 12-year-olds start?
Well, no. Yeah, you're going to go where the 12-year-olds go.
They told me that I was going to start below the 12-year-olds for the first couple.
Oh, okay.
Whoa, what's that okay about?
Well, if a 12-year-old can do it, so could you.
That's what I was thinking. Mm-hmm. But I don't think they have enough confidence. I said some things yesterday that got me demoted from where the 12-year-olds start to below that. So for your first time, first of all, what made you want to do this sport out of any other sport? Because you're from Oconomowoc, so you're from
Yes.
So are you experienced with tobogganing?
I mean, like, a little bit.
Okay.
But like, soccer is kind of big in that area.
Yeah.
Played a little soccer growing up. Wasn't super good at much. So when I moved here, one of my classmates was like, hey, you should try luge. And I was like, okay, sure. Had no idea what I was getting myself into.
How old were you when you moved out here?
12.
Oh, you were 12?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and then how old were you when you took your first run?
12.
You were 12? Mm-hmm. Okay. So as a 12-year-old, did you, now I'm really upset I'm starting below the 12-year-old.
I think you should push to just go from.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm worried about on the thing. Frankly, this is my biggest worry. I want you to kind of talk my worries down, if you would, please. I'm worried I'm gonna go right off the thing and fall.
That's impossible.
Forever.
No.
Never. No, it is. So it's impossible to go off the track. Some people have fallen off the track.
Yes, obviously. Like, I've had crashes, so has everyone has crashed, probably.
Okay, but on your first run?
No,
Okay.
no. Like, the worst thing that's gonna happen is you're gonna hit the wall.
Okay, that also sounds a little terrifying.
You'll probably get some elbow pads.
Oh yeah, I got elbow pads.
Yeah,
do you go with elbow pads?
No.
Oh, the way she laughs. Is that like the equivalent of wearing knee pads rollerblading?
I guess so. I mean, like, I wore elbow pads when I was 12.
Okay. Cool. Keep bringing up the when you were 12 thing. So your classmates suggested you do this, and I mean, were you scared at first? Were you intrigued? Had you watched it growing up?
I think I had no idea what I was in for.
Okay.
Like, I watched it a little bit in the Olympics, but I was never like one of those kids that, like, there's a lot of kids growing up that are like, I want to go to the Olympics. That's what I want. I want to win a gold medal at like 4 years old. And I was never like that, not super into sports. So yeah, like, I was kind of just along for the ride. I was like, yeah, I'll do it, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And then, yeah, like 11 years later, I'm still here.
Well, what got you hooked?
It was just so fun. Like, it's like literally a frozen water slide. It's like, if I could do this for the rest of my life, it'd be awesome, because it's like you're living out your childhood.
Actually, maybe they should do that at Wisconsin Dells in the winter. Just turn some of the water slides.
Yeah, you think they would.
Yeah, you would think they would. But is it adrenaline, or you say fun? I mean, it is
adrenaline. Like, I'm not an adrenaline junkie. Like, I wouldn't go skydiving, I don't think. But it's not like anything else in the world,
Mm-hmm. You obviously started off doing it as sort of a hobby, but do you remember the moment where you were like, no, this is going to be what I'm doing professionally?
Yeah, I was like, it was a couple of years later, and I was sitting at the start handles at my first Junior World Championships in Norway, and I was like, oh, I'm here, okay. Yeah, like, I guess I'll keep going. Like, that's like when it clicked for me, and I remember that, and just sitting there, and it was like, it was dark because it's Norway in January, and they like called my name, and I was just like, okay, wow, yeah, like, this is it, okay. I could go to the Olympics.
And so from that moment on, there's been no second guessing it.
Not really. Like, I think maybe if I got into it later and I already kind of was like, yeah, I know what I'm gonna do. I wanna be a doctor or something, then I would maybe like see something else, but I just love it.
So for people who don't get what luge is, how would you explain it to them?
I always have a really hard time answering that question. I mean, you're on your back, feet first, and you're going down like a frozen tube on a sled with really sharp steels. Like, it's fast, it's really fun. We hit a lot of G-forces that like push ourself into the ice, into our sled. It's really cool. Most people don't know what luge is though. So like, I have the conversation like, oh, do you know what bobsled is? Most people know what bobsled is. So then I say, okay, it's like that, but different.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about doing bobsled, or is that sort of a dirty question to ask someone who does luge?
I can't talk that bad about bobsled because my boyfriend is an Olympic bobsledder.
Okay,
but
yeah. Is that the only reason you can't talk bad about bobsled?
I would say, I mean, it's like, it's different. Like, you're sitting up, so you feel different. Like, on a luge sled, you have such a good feel for everything. Like, you're in complete control. You're not like a 500-pound train going down the track, you know? Like, it's just you, and it's all on you, you know?
And from a physical standpoint, what do you need to do? I mean, I think your average viewer may look at someone doing luge and be like, you just lie on your back, pretty easy. But what do people not understand about the physical aspect of it?
So many people watch it and they're like, oh, you're just laying there. Like, you don't do anything. What are you doing on the sled? And we're in complete control. So like, you would know if we're not doing anything because it would look really bad. We would be crashing, you know. When you are really comfortable and you are sliding well, it should look like you're not doing anything, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And how do you steer? Like, I mean, obviously there's no steer, there's no brakes on the thing.
No
right?
brakes, but we can steer with our feet on like those curved things are called Kufens.
Kufens.
Yeah, it's a German word. Yeah, you can steer with your feet, pushing in. Our handles have control. We can push in with our shoulders and roll our heads.
Okay, so it's a lot of nuance though in the body. It's like a lot of small
Little
movements.
tiny movements, like, you know, you wouldn't even notice like if I was sitting there and I was like, okay, like I'm steering with my hand right now, and you wouldn't notice the difference.
And so do you have to have like a very strong core, or what when you working out to stay in shape for this, what do you have to focus on?
We do a lot of lifting, like Olympic lifts and like just trying to get overall strength. I do a lot of Pilates, like personally, because core strength does really help because you're holding yourself up, and there's tracks where we hit like 9 G-forces and you can't hold your head up, and you know, like you're holding your feet and your head up the whole time. So you do need a strong core, strong, like, you know, power through your hips, stuff like that.
When you say 9 G-forces, what do you mean by that for people who are unfamiliar?
So 1 G-force is like 10 times your body weight or something. It's basically just pressure pushing on your body. And so there's tracks and some curves, because of how the curves work, if they're a sharper turn, you're gonna hit more pressure. So there's tracks where you can like lose your head, we call it, which means you physically can't hold your head up against the pressure anymore. And we wear a strap that goes like around our legs, and then it straps onto our helmet so our head doesn't hit the ice when that happens.
Well, and speaking of head hitting the ice, does this take a toll on your body?
Definitely. I'm actually just coming off a concussion right now.
Oh, geez.
From like a little crash in Russia a few weeks ago, but a lot of us have neck problems because of that, like pressure holding our heads up, and like shoulders, because our starts can be really hard on our shoulders, and then like the overall wear and tear of like smashing walls going 85 miles per hour.
Yeah, that's So how fast do you get going down there?
It depends. Like here in Park City, 75 maybe. Park City is one of the fastest tracks, but we were just in Russia. We were hitting like over 80 from women's start.
Wow.
The men are hitting like 85.
I mean, that brings up another point, though. You get to travel the world doing this. Did you ever think you'd be doing that when you were 12, first starting off?
Not really, no. I had traveled a little bit growing up. My great-grandfather had a house in Austria, and it's cool because I have a photo of me when I was a kid up on a mountain, and you can actually see the track in Germany behind me.
Oh, wow.
Like in the valley. It's like really cool. So it has brought me back to some places that I traveled growing up and brought me to a lot of cool new places.
And what's the dream for you?
I think like going to the Olympics would be amazing. Obviously, like it's kind of like everyone's goal. We see our lives in 4-year increments because that's the quad. I didn't think I was gonna be here 10 years ago, so every day I'm just happy to be around, you know?
Yeah. a lot of people think, any of these Olympic sports, they just think you're only competing in the Olympics. But what does your day in, day out life look like when it's not Olympic time?
Yeah, like we compete in World Cup and World Championships every single year. So yeah, like you said, a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot going on other than the games every 4 years. So we train all summer. We have a start house in Lake Placid, New York. It's like an indoor ramp with ice on it. So we can pull starts all winter or all summer long. And then, we train 5 days a week, doing starts, lifting. We play a lot of like team games. So like volleyball, we all get together just to like kind of hang out. And then in the wintertime, it's like nonstop. So every week we're in a new place. We have, we travel Monday, we train for 2 days, we get our sleds ready for World Cups. We have World Cups Friday, Saturday, Sunday, travel again to the next place. So it's pretty nonstop.
And it is an individual sport. Like you're the only one going down, but you keep bringing up the team. How much does that team dynamic play into your individual performance?
Yeah, so there is singles and doubles. So I only do singles. There are a handful of athletes that do doubles, so they do have their teammate. But we are part of a big team. So it is good to have a good relationship, I think, with everyone and like know when to leave each other alone and know when like maybe someone needs to be checked in on and that kind of thing. I think we have a good team dynamic because we actually hang out and spend time together and stuff. It's cool. And then also at the same time, some of your teammates are your biggest competitors. So that can be.
Oh yeah, what's that like? Yeah, who's your biggest competitor on the team?
I don't know. Like
call them out, let's make it weird.
So like Summer and Emily are older and more experienced. They've been to Olympics before. And then there's like Ashley and I who have been coming up, and Ashley and I started together here in Park City the same day. Her and I now are on this level and we're competing against each other like all the time. So she's probably my biggest competitor, but we are really back and forth.
And now how do you handle the competition, keep it healthy competition and not get torn down?
Yeah, like so caught up in the moment. It can be hard. I think everyone has to learn themselves like how to deal with it and when they need to be alone or when they need to be like, okay, wait, no, I'm out of line. I got to step back and figure out how to fix this,
Yeah.
And we have sports psychs and all, this and that, all these resources. So that helps a lot of people, I think.
Yeah.
Because it is hard. It is hard.
I mean, is that something where you like sit down and you talk? Is it like normal therapy?
I've never been to like regular therapy, but with a sports psych, it's kind of like, because the coaches will sometimes be like, hey, why did you have that one good race? What did you do differently that day? Or why are you sliding so well? Is it because you don't care about racing? Is it because you don't have pressure for a race? Like if we're just training for a week somewhere. So like through the sports psych, you could be like, yeah, the coach said, I don't care, and she's like, well, it's not that. It's not caring. It's just you can present yourself differently and stuff kind of like that. Or what can you do if you feel really anxious or stressed about a race, Because sometimes you're more nervous other weekends than another, or every track around the world is different. So you could be struggling physically or mentally with the track,
Yeah, especially mentally. I mean, you're going at such high, you just said, like 9G or something like that, 85 miles an hour. And all your movements are very minimal. So it's like there's so much going on in your head, right? Mm-hmm. So how do you deal with that?
We always say like the sport's like 95% mental. Because,
that's terrifying to me.
Yeah, it is a little scary. But yeah, like everyone deals with it differently, like meditation or this or that to just try to like get out of their head and maybe like disassociate a little bit, you know, because it can be hard. And then you have coaches that are stressed about sled work because we build our own sleds custom.
Right.
So if something breaks, we have to fix it. You can't just buy a new set of skis, It is all mental and it is scary, but you kind of learn how to deal with it.
What do you do? What are your tips?
I try to get really comfortable on tracks, so knowing the lines without having to think about them. And by lines, I guess I say every curve has an ideal line, and you want to steer a certain way in a certain area to get that line. And it's hard to be like inactive with your brain because you want to be like, okay, when I get here, I need to steer here, and when I feel this, I need to do this. And sometimes it's better to just say, I'm just gonna feel it and let my body, like muscle memory, do it,
Yeah. Do you ever get midway through a track and think you're on a different track?
No? But there are some tracks that, or if you're like newer somewhere and you just get lost and you're like, I don't know what curve I'm in, I just have to guess.
Yeah.
It happened a lot when I was younger that I'm like, okay, or I had to count the curves because it can be, some curves like look exactly the same and it can be confusing. And when
Okay.
you're learning like 10 different tracks in a year, it can be really tough.
Yeah, seriously, because I mean, I just think sometimes I'm on I-94 and I think I'm on 45.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of
Miss your exit.
Yeah, miss a whole lot. Yeah, I think you're in the wrong city. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's why this is. I couldn't imagine doing it. Do you get, you know, how in baseball or golf you can get the yips and like just have you heard of that? Where
No.
you basically can't hit anymore, or you can't hit the ball, or it always goes left or something. Is there anything like that in luge?
I mean, like sometimes you make the same mistake over and over again, and you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do differently, or like everything you do to fix a problem doesn't work. And sometimes like, you know, you just have to take a day off and be like, okay, I need to not think about it. I need kind of like letting my body do it, because, you know, like we've been doing this for so long that sometimes we forget to trust ourselves, and you kind of like lose faith that you know what you're doing. So there's sometimes at like a race that I'm sitting at the handles and I'm like, you know what you're doing. Why are you stressed out? You made it this far, you know?
That's that imposter syndrome thing.
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You have that?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, I think we all have that to a certain
Yeah.
degree. And I mean, how do you deal with it? You just as many times as you can down the course, or
Yeah,
whatever?
we take a lot of runs, but during a World Cup week, we are capped out at like 5 training runs.
Oh, really?
Which is like nothing. If we were training just like for a training week, we would take at least 5 runs a day.
Oh, wow.
And then so there's weeks we only get 5 runs a whole week.
So part of the game then is to just memorize the track quickly, kind of.
Yeah, there's a lot of videos on YouTube of people taking like GoPros down. So
Oh, okay.
sometimes people do that, or they watch like old World Cup footage from like, you know, the live stream or whatever, you know, and just to learn the curves as much as you can before you go somewhere for the first time. So you're not getting there and you're like, I don't know what curve goes left or right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you ever try a different sport? Do you think? Would you do the skeleton where you go face first down the thing?
I don't think so. Like the skeleton kind of has that stereotype of it being like really easy because.
Really? Because head first does not. That seems.
So it is the safest of the 3 sports.
How?
And it's the slowest.
Oh, it's slower.
And it's the least technical.
Okay. Well, when you put it that way.
It's the safest because their sleds don't move the same way. With a luge sled, it moves, it's really flexible, like a little movement does a lot.
Okay.
And on a skeleton sled, they don't have a lot of control on their sled.
Got you.
Bobsled, they drive with like little rings that move the front of the sled, so they have more control than that, but it's also a tank. So, you know, like the reaction time is different on a bobsled than on a luge sled.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
I'm not like a sprinter though, so I wouldn't want to try bobsled or skeleton. I don't think competitively.
Yeah, right, that's a whole other.
Yeah, like the start is a whole different thing for them. The start is important in luge. You can lose a race at the start. You can get yourself on the right track to winning a race at the start. But with bobsled, if I tried to do bobsled and I can't sprint, I would never do well.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, right. Well, you find the thing that fits you.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey there, folks. Valentine's Day is coming up, and what better way to impress your lover than with an old-fashioned made with a jolly good Sour Power soda. You know, you get a Sour Power floater on top, and then, well, I was going to make a frisky joke right there, but, you know, kids are listening. But you get the idea. Jolly good. A real good soda for a real good time. Happy Valentine's Day. And speaking of Valentine's Day, this is your last reminder. If you want to get something that says, I love you for your special someone, we got 15% off all Watch Out for Deer merch over there on ManitowocMinute.com. So check it out real quick once. Finally, folks, I want to thank Duluth Trading Company for sponsoring our video content and this podcast. They made an absolutely incredible trip out of us going to Park City and being able to hang out with USA Luge and setting up me going down this course. I joked that I almost died, and actually that wasn't much of a joke, but it was also the time of my life, so I want to thank them for being a great sponsor of the Cripescast. Also, their clothes are fantastic, especially in these cold winter months, so check them out. And okie dokes, that's the deal. Back to the Cripescast.
Do you get back to Wisconsin much, or did you kind of born and raised there and then you haven't been back much?
Yeah, I try to get back like anytime I have a week off, either to Park City or to Wisconsin. Every year for the 4th of July, I'm there because we usually have a week off of training. And so I try to go there. My brother comes out and we just all hang out at the lake and stuff.
So you still have a lake house there, still have family there?
Yeah, all my family is there except my parents that are here.
Okay.
So, yeah, my Nana used to live on Pine Lake.
Oh, yeah.
And then
I fixed some docks on Pine Lake.
oh,
actually.
nice. Yeah, my aunt still lives there. So we try to get over there. My Nana moved away. So she lives like right off Lac La Belle. But it's like literally across the street. So
yeah, right.
Yeah, we try to get out on the lake as much as we can.
Nice. What do you miss about Wisconsin when you're doing this all the time?
Food.
Yeah, favorite Wisconsin food? I know, I'm sorry. It's now the tough questions are coming out.
I don't know. I mean, like, my boyfriend is from upstate New York, so he had never had Culver's. So, like, that was a big thing, going to Culver's.
What did he get?
Like double butter burger with
Did you advise
bacon.
him? Did you tell him what?
Except
to
he
do?
doesn't get cheese curds.
He doesn't get, like, he doesn't physically order them, or he doesn't
He doesn't
get the
order
concept?
them, and then he thinks that he's going to eat all of mine. But like,
so
like,
he
just
gets some, he just doesn't order them.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
You know, like good root beer there. I don't know. Like I used to go to the Kilty all the time in Oconomowoc, drive in. Yeah, like just good coffee, like always going to like Stone Creek, Collectivo, that whole thing. My brother always drags me into Sobelman's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had one of those Bloody Marys?
Not like the one with the chicken on it.
You gotta get the one with the chicken on it. What are you thinking?
It's a little daunting, though.
It is very daunting. You gotta be in the mood for like an entire meal to get hammered on top of it.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I'm trying to think about like where we always go to eat. My cousin's husband, it'll be like 9:30 at night, and we always like make the drive to the Kilty. You know, get some good custard and all of that. Yeah, I eat so much cheese and drink beer and all that when I'm there.
You've had the privilege of going around the world. Is there something that you think the rest of the world could borrow from Wisconsin?
Cheese curds.
Okay, good start.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
They do have like good cheese around the world, but they don't have cheese curds. Better deep frying, probably.
Yeah.
You know, they just don't have the beer batter down.
No, that's a tough one. You know, it's kind of like luge, actually.
Yeah.
There's a lot of nuance in it.
Exactly. You got to do it right.
Yeah, and if you do a little too much of this, you can go ass over tea kettle pretty quick.
Yeah, and like everyone loves German beer, but I just, you know, it's not as good as Wisconsin beer.
No, I'm glad you're. Do you tell them that in Germany?
Well, like my friends will be like, "This is the best beer in Germany," and I'm like, "No, it's not. Like this kind of sucks."
Favorite beer?
I love the raspberry tart from New Glarus.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I'm a big sour
I've never heard
person.
anybody say that one before.
I love it. And then I don't know, the serendipity is really good. I do like sours, but you know, like Spotted Cow is good too.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
What's the one question that nobody ever asks you about luge that you would wish they'd ask?
Oh man, I don't even know. A lot of people don't really ask like if it's that fun.
Is it that fun?
It is fun.
Yeah.
That's kind of why we do it.
You're addicted.
If it wasn't fun, no one would still be around.
Yeah, that's true. So, how long do you see yourself continuing to do it?
I don't know. Like I think I'll know when I'm done. I think, you know, I'll have that feeling. But right now, like, I just hope that I can keep going for a long time. I'm hoping that Salt Lake gets the Olympics, Winter Games another time, and then I can, like, finish my career out at home. I think that would be really cool.
It's nice to put that out there. You think it's going to happen?
Well, there's a lot of people that want it to happen because our facilities are so good and the Olympics cost so much, you know? And, like, people like think, like, oh, well, Russia spent $8 billion on the games, but like a lot of the infrastructure is already here.
Yeah.
But
they paid a bunch of people off in Russia too. There's a lot of that going on.
A lot of people also don't want it to come back to Utah. So
why?
I mean, like from an environmental standpoint, I can understand.
What is the environmental standpoint?
Well, the Olympics are horrible for the environment.
Yeah, right. Because you just
you like come into a place and you like take people out of their homes and you build up these facilities, and sometimes they never get used again.
But wouldn't that make sense from an environmental standpoint to do it
like
at a
bring
place
it back?
that,
Yeah, and like people think that Sundance is enough here and there's enough tourists and that we don't need another Olympics.
Okay.
But if you think about it from like, I think like I do a lot of work with like Protect Our Winters, and like I'm a big climate activist, and I think that the answer to making the Olympics more friendly to the environment is to bring them back to places they've already been.
What drove you to be environmentally active?
Ever since I was little, I'd be like, you don't recycle, you know?
What was the thing when you were a kid?
I don't even know where it came from that like my grandma didn't recycle cans and I freaked out.
Oh, did you?
But yeah, I mean, like as I've gotten older, I've seen the changes that are happening around the world, especially traveling to the same places every year for the last, 7 years, seeing the difference of winters in Germany in 2015 versus now. We used to have snow races 4 times a year where we got snowed out or had to knock the amount of runs down in the race. And then now the amount of rain races we have are crazy in December and January, So like seeing that impact around the world has driven me to kind of push for change.
Mm-hmm. Do you think when you're done with luge that that's where your career would take you?
I think so. I haven't finished college yet because it's kind of impossible when you're traveling all winter long, but I'll probably, kind of go into environmental engineering or something like that with like renewable resources.
Do people back home in Wisconsin, your family back home in Wisconsin, are they receptive to that sort of thing, or do you have a lot of awkward Thanksgiving conversation?
No, my family is really good. My grandma, she lives in Florida now, and I've gone.
Is she recycling cans now?
Well, last time I was there, I was like, "Where's your recycling?" She's like, "We don't recycle here," and I was like, "Yeah, you do." Like I see
you do this week.
I seen the bins outside,
oh, okay.
And she's like, "Well, So my mom was just like, "I don't know what you thought would happen when she came here." So I think everyone's kind of getting better.
Yeah, slowly but surely.
Yeah.
What advice would you have for somebody who's thinking of getting into the luge game themselves?
I think to only stick with it if you really love it, and if you feel like I don't know. I think there's a lot of kids that stick around because their parents want them to stick with it and commit to something, but do what makes you happy, and if you love it, then follow through with it and commit yourself.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Any advice for me before I go down the hill tomorrow?
You're gonna be fine. Just don't put your feet down.
I thought I was supposed to steer with my feet.
Don't put them on the ice.
Well, how am I supposed to? Just heels? Heel down?
No, you don't put your feet down at all.
I thought I was supposed to steer, so just nothing?
No, you steer by pushing it, not putting it on the ground.
Okay, I'm more confused now. I think I'm just gonna.
When you start to go uphill, then you can put your feet down to stop.
I didn't know there was. The uphill when I
when
finish.
When you come up to the finish line, you go uphill.
Then I can put them up to stop.
Yeah, put them down.
Okay, put them down. Right. I'm so screwed. Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Okay, cool.
If 12-year-old me can do it, so can you.
You say that honestly doesn't make me feel any better. Okay, so yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Okay, cool. All right. Oh, you said you brought something?
Yeah.
Can we see what this is? First of all, thanks for the gift. Jeez.
Oh yeah.
I'm so inadequately prepared.
Stuff. Okay.
Should have brought you something. Now I'm going to feel bad about this. Oh my gosh, you brought so much.
Okay, so pin trading, big thing at the Olympics.
Okay.
These are going to be the pins that the team trades at the games in Beijing in February.
That's awesome. Can I put it on now, or is that not okay?
Yeah, go
ahead. If I keep it in the plastic, will it go for more money?
Probably not.
Okay, I'm opening it. I would lose it anyway if I didn't have it on myself. So this is the best bet. I'll wear it tomorrow for good luck.
Yeah, do it.
All right. Hopefully I don't fall and this pin hits me in the heart, but it won't go that deep. That's really nice. Oh no. There we go. All right. Got it right there on my Duluth shirt. Look at that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some T-shirts. This is a Luge shirt, and this is actually my Team Arndt shirt.
Oh, sweet. That's awesome. Look at that. Wow. Oh, I like what you did with the Team USA there. Mm-hmm. Did you design that?
Yeah, my teammate helped me, and then I drew it.
The one you're super competitive with?
No, Emily.
Would you ever let the other one help you design your shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
okay.
my friend.
I know she's your friend, but you never know. That's really cool.
Yeah, and then this is a USA Luge shirt, and then this is a Duluth USA Luge sweatshirt.
Oh, sweet. This is
got for
great.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. Wow. Oh
We
my
wanted to get you
gosh.
some stuff.
Wow. And I'm going to give you a hug since I have nothing else to offer. Thanks so much. Thank you. That's fun. Really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, no
all right, I'll
problem.
wear this tomorrow for good luck.
Yeah.
And I appreciate all the advice.
Yeah.
And, go Packers.
Yeah, the Packers, the Bears.
Oh, wow. Did we get that on? Yes. Perfect. Perfect way to end it.
And that is it for this week's episode of the Cripescast. Make sure you follow Team USA in the Olympics for the next couple 2-3 weeks. Follow Brittney on socials. That's at Brittney Arndt, at BRITTNEYARNDT. And also make sure you follow the Cripescast at Cripescast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And the next time you're luging, just remember, watch out for deer. Okay, they've been known to get on the luge course themselves. Okay, if they get in that rut, no luge course is going to stand between them and their potential mate. All right, so remember that as you're luging. All right, real good. See you next week. Tell your folks I says hi.
So roll out the barrel and get the band brewing. Life's got you down, just keep her moving. It's on Wisconsin, the Badgers say it's the old Wisconsin Jubilee.
Sometimes when you're ice fishing, you put your foot in the walleye hole and go ass over tea kettle and you think you're done. No, you got to keep her moving.